You want to start us off with a little weird side chat about manufactured boobs or whatever?
That's what I was like. After we went through our fan mail, I went through that episode in particular because I knew it was a little bit more, I don't know, I don't want to say raunchy, but for sure, like more adult topic oriented than our usual episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, what did Aoku and their dad think of this?
Oh,
Like, I felt a little bad that we had even brought it up because I just don't have a good read on what our audience is. Like, if it's a lot of people like that, or if it's a lot of people that enjoy hearing about, the manufacturing practices of adult companies.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know. I don't understand. We just talked about this before recording. I don't understand why we have an audience at all.
because we're entertaining.
But I don't know
I don't want to
what
toot my own
about
horn.
it that works, though, because there's so many.
It's ineffable.
It's 100% editing.
It's only the editing. You could get anybody to say anything for 2 hours and then cut it down to 30 minutes and it would be entertaining.
Just distilled essence of Spencer and John. That's what this podcast is.
Yeah.
Plus Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Here's a question for you. Here's a good way to start this. If you distilled essence of Spencer, what would it smell like?
It's a weird question, John. It would probably smell like whiskey and the dust that comes out when you blow on a Super Nintendo cartridge.
That has a very specific smell.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's plastic and dust and a little bit of electronic like discharge. Ugh,
Yeah.
weird word.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it would be good, but like
That's what it would smell like.
that's me, baby. You're going to answer the question as well.
Yeah, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but when I was a kid, my dad in the fall would make me rake the leaves.
Sure.
And then you have to bag the leaves because raking the leaves is not the hard part. That's fun because you get to jump in the
bagging sucks.
Bagging is the worst.
They go everywhere.
Yes. And then you get lazy and you just leave the bags in the front yard and your dad yells at you 2 days later because he's been on a fucking bender. He hasn't been home for the last 2 days. So when he gets there and he sees the bags there, it's, so you get the bags and one of them rips open and it's like old, wet leaves. That's what I would smell like. That's the essence of John.
What a horrible smell.
It's not that bad. It's still kind of fresh. It's just damp.
Sure. But thank God that our listeners only have to listen to us.
Speaking of which, I didn't tell you this, but we got a new sponsor. The Acme Corporation would like us to try Smell-O-Vision.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
this.
where we-
How does it work?
Okay, so we do what we're doing now, but it doesn't record any sound or video or anything like that. It just records the smells in the vicinity in which we are, and then it sends those smells via the Acme Corporation app. Download the Acme Corporation app to our listeners who then apply. This is the cool part. They don't even have to buy a new apparatus. They just put their earbuds right in their nose, and it sends the sound waves in such a pattern that you smell what they smell like. So with some editing, we are going to smell like some musty Nintendo cartridges for 45 minutes.
And there's no valuable content or podcast worthy content. It's just smells.
Oh, no, it's no longer called a podcast. They call them, oh, you're putting me on the spot. I'm putting myself on the spot. Nose goes. Fuck. Whatever. I'll come up with it when we're doing the pun. Last time on Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z, we did the fan mail episode. Now we're doing the Garlic Jr. mini saga. This time on Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z. Okay, I did it.
We are actually doing the Garlic Jr. mini saga.
Garlic Jr. mini saga. This is going to be a great episode.
It's going to be so good. Welcome to Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z. I'm Spencer.
I'm John.
And today we'll be going over episodes 108 to 112 of Dragon Ball Z, the first part of the Garlic Jr. saga. Super excited to go over these episodes with y'all. They are a treat.
So I've never seen this before.
No, neither had I.
No. So I wrote down my predictions for what this little 10 episode mini arc saga was.
I'm actually really excited to hear this because I didn't watching it. Actually, it was just so I didn't expect any of it.
So let me get to my predictions. Whoever Garlic Jr. is does some kind of threat to the world via the Dragon Balls. Maybe they want immortality. I don't know, but they're going to have thugs who the Z fighters have to try and win against. That's prediction number 1. Prediction number 2, Krillin fires an ineffective destructive disc / solar flare. Number 3 is Vegeta reluctantly helps out the gang because one of the cronies seems strong and it's a challenge. Number 4 is Piccolo loses a limb / many limbs. Number 5 is Gohan steps up and finally murders the cronies after being egged on continuously.
Some of those do come
Some
true.
of those kind of happen. A lot of them didn't, though. I was surprised.
Yeah, this was very interesting. So this is a filler arc, not portrayed in the manga, and it starts to show. I think it starts off with a decent amount of potential.
Okay, let's
but then
get
it
into
just
it.
kind of nosedives.
Let's just front load this episode by saying this is a whole Krillin thing. Like all 10 episodes is a Krillin thing, and so you're going to be into it. I'll play nice.
It's very interesting. I think there's a lot of good conversation to be had here. Episode 108. The Japanese title is Terrible Happenings in Heaven. Garlic Jr. to become Kami. American title is The Heavens Tremble.
My title is Marin is just Namek Bulma to the power of tequila.
Yes, thank you. I was looking for a descriptor this entire saga, and like that is so insanely accurate. This episode opens with random people dying.
Yeah, just random people. Hang on. Okay, so another just heads up for right in the beginning of this episode. I'm going to be way more incoherent because this whole thing, like there was one episode we recorded and it broke your brain, and you're just like the whole episode, you're like, what? Why? What? That's going to be me, and I can't help it. So
it's so good.
We're here. Let's start off. We just start off with these random people getting murdered by these strong looking dudes. One of them looks like he's got Goku hair, but it's white.
Oh, it's like Super Saiyan Goku, but he's got blue skin and white hair.
Yeah, he looks.
But like it's very
There's
close.
a character in Super that looks just like this guy, which is weird. He looks like fused Zamasu. It's super weird. Anyway. So this is where we learned that these are cronies of Garlic Jr. And you know that because you've watched the Dead Zone movie with us.
Which, like, their names are different, I think. Or their look is different. Because I Googled Garlic Jr.'s cronies.
Yeah.
And they do look different in the movie than they do look in the show. I don't know if they're supposed to be different or if they're the same or what the hell's going on.
Well, maybe it's an orange Vegeta hair thing where they just recolor.
That's what I'm thinking. Like they just kind of retconned it a little bit.
I don't know.
This whole thing is a sequel to the Dead Zone DBZ movie. We did a commentary on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's on our Dropbox for free just to download. I'll probably submit that link again. It's just like a live commentary where you can watch the Dead Zone and our commentary at the same time. And it's a 40-minute movie that happened like, I think it aired during the Saiyan Saga, but it takes place before the Saiyan Saga. Yeah. Gohan's like 2 years old or something like that.
Before
anyway,
anything.
All of the movies, aside from the TV specials, are supposed to be non-canon as far as I know.
Yeah.
So it was really weird seeing Garlic Jr., who was the villain of that movie, pop up in the actual show. And at first I was like, oh, cool. It's a sequel to the Dead Zone. Like, it's really fun to have the movie canonized in some way and for the characters to remember things that happened in the movie within the series, sort of bridging the universes, make just more cohesive world.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. And then I regretted the words that I thought and everything about this saga.
You'll have to help me out because this whole thing has blended together into a pudding popcorn salad.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I totally agree. It's very odd. This is the first time, as far as I know, that Dragon Ball Z starts with a cold open.
Yeah.
Which is a segment of like a scene that happens before the opening credits. Usually the show starts with the opening credits. This like prefaces everything with this scene of Garlic Jr. just being back. You don't see him come back. In the movie, he ends up stuck in this place called the Dead Zone. Yep. It's like a horrible dimension similar to hell where you're just cut off from
everything,
Earth and reality and everything.
Nothing.
And he shows up and he's just this little blue guy
with liver spots on his head, and
with liver spots on his head.
That has always bothered me.
It's really weird.
But I love his voice. It's so incredibly arch, and the voice actor just really hams it up.
There's so many good lines for Garlic Jr. Like they just hammed it up immensely.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what we like. That's what we like to see, damn it. Either keep it super serious or go full ham, which they do in so many weird little ways.
It's unbelievable. So then we go to the opening credits. The only question I have on my mind right now is how the hell did he get back? Because it really doesn't tell you. And apparently the Dead Zone, like, supposedly is a forever prison.
Yeah.
That mystery will be unveiled as we go on. So after the opening credits, we cut to Gohan, whose hair is longer now, and his tiger friend.
Yeah,
he survived.
Would not have bet on that monkey tail.
No, neither did I. Didn't think that he was going to come back at all, but he's back.
Super neat. Little things that happen to these filler arcs kind of help to bridge these gaps a little bit. Sometimes this is one of those moments to be like, oh yeah, this is a tiger.
It was nice. It was nice.
Tiger he left on the island to die.
Yeah, but he's not dead. And then so he runs around for a little bit with the tiger, and then jumps into a lake to swim, and it's really fun because he jumps off with his clothes on, and in midair while he's falling, he undresses himself so that he splashes down into the water naked and loses all of his clothes. And then he swims around for a while, and he's just being a kid, and then all of a sudden Krillin shows up out of nowhere and just seems to know where Gohan is.
Hang on. It's a weird parallel for this because in the beginning, Goku was swimming around punching tuna. And that's now what Gohan's doing. That's what he's swimming around to do. He's got tuna in there and he's collecting them. And then, this is where Krillin makes probably my favorite Krillin entrance.
It's really
ever.
Good. It's very, very good. He shows up in like a white suit, white coat, white pants, white fedora, red tie.
He's looking good.
What does he say? He looks awesome. What is he? Did you write down the quote?
I didn't, but he sounds like a mobster. Yeah, see?
He does a Humphrey Bogart impression.
Yeah.
They actually name drop Humphrey Bogart, which is just bonkers.
Yeah.
But anyway, behind Krillin is a nice car.
Oh, really nice car.
And in the car is Bulma. And
it is.
It so is. And Gohan looks at Bulma and says, "Who's she?" It's not Bulma. It's a girl named Marin, who is like nearly indistinguishable from Bulma until you get the two side by side.
Yes.
Then you can kind of see it, but it's odd.
Yeah.
And this Bulma lookalike, this Bulma cosplayer, is Krillin's new girlfriend.
Quotey fingers, because they're not
quotey fingers
officially dating yet. They're just seeing each other, or I don't know. So Gohan asks Krillin, "Hey, come swimming with me," and Krillin says, "Sorry, it's the threads, bro.
Can't get those.
Can't get the threads wet." Marin steps out of the car and yells at Krillin, "Did you forget about me? I can't believe you forgot about me. What are you going to go swimming now? What are you doing, you piece of shit? How could you do this to me?" And then she starts flirting with 7-year-old Gohan and asks Krillin, "No, you won't. You're not going to get jealous if I'm complimenting your friend. He's 7. How old is this girl? By the way, I want to know how old this being is."
I think it's implied that she is younger, but around Krillin's age. She's for sure younger than.
Wait, how old is Krillin? Goku's age.
Well, I mean, like,
right?
Yeah.
So 20,
roughly Goku's age, so 20 something.
Yeah, it's in early 20s.
She's definitely younger than that, but I would say like
18.
Like 18, 19 at the youngest. Yeah, for sure she's younger than Bulma. They're like, "Hey, there's a party at Master Roshi's later. Are you going?" And Gohan's like, "Nah, my mom's not going to let me." And Krillin's like, "Well, too bad. Maybe we'll see you there if you get really lucky." Marin says laters.
This is the second time Krillin says bro too in within 2 minutes. And I'm starting to think to myself, like, is this like, was Dragon Ball way ahead of the whole bro thing? Is that why they have the flat rimmed caps already with their own fucking names?
I actually don't know. Were we just out of the loop so long and then we caught it?
Maybe
when it came into popular culture, or did Dragon Ball Z really have the edge?
Yeah, it was just so ahead of the curve. It knew exactly what was going to happen.
They leave and Gohan's still in the lake and he's like, "Oh man, it's so cool that Krillin has a girlfriend now."
How does Gohan know that Krillin has been single this whole time? Like, how does Gohan, why does Gohan care?
I guess they just talk like they're friends. He's just friends with like a 7-year-old boy and they talk about love and stuff. And my favorite part of the scene is when it pans up to the clouds and there's a smiling Goku just sort of looking down on his friends. But Goku's not dead.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it is. So Gohan's like, "I'm so happy for Krillin." And I bet Dad would be too. And then it like pans up and there's a Goku head in the sky and he's smiling down on his friends. Goku's not dead. He's just hanging out in space. Like, he's not dead at all. So I don't know why. Anyway, it's weird. It cuts to Piccolo and he's doing training.
Oh yeah,
out in the middle of nowhere.
He's doing his Piccolo thing, standing alone on the edge of a cliff, creating copies of himself that he then punches.
Yeah, he does multiform again.
Yep.
The multiform does like special beam cannons, which is really fun.
And they just shoot him instantly, which is
like instantly.
How it should happen
no
now.
Charging up. Yeah, he's powered up.
Beefcake now.
I just don't understand how that's useful because they keep saying like multiform cuts your power into however many fractions. Like, is it really useful to? Or is it just training against multiple opponents that's useful?
I thought about that too. I'm like, okay, is it because you're dodging multiple, but it's still you though, so you know what they're gonna do, so it doesn't help. Just hire some people, hire a bunch of motherfuckers to punch you in the face a lot, or get Dr.
Hold a
Reeves.
martial arts championship. Those are insanely popular in this world.
There you go. Seriously, go talk to Dr. Briefs and ask him to make you a fighting robot,
That'd be really
a
cool.
sparring partner, and then he'll upgrade to the point where it's too strong and gain sentience, and it can have its own special arc.
It's great.
So Piccolo's doing his thing, and Kami shows up. Kami, who I forgot how much I liked Kami until this micro saga arc thing. It might be called the Garlic Jr. saga. I think of it in my head as the Kami saga. It's much more to me about Kami and Krillin than it is about Garlic Jr. He's just the bad guy.
It's their time to shine.
The K Squad.
Really.
The Special K.
I really like that. The Special K saga.
Special K saga. So anyway, we cut to Mr. Popo on the lookout after Kami's talking to Piccolo, because Kami says something like, I could sense the evil in your heart dissipating. You're becoming a good guy.
Oh, he just like reiterates Piccolo's entire character arc that he's had throughout the entire show up to this point.
Which is fine. I'm so used to that now. It's fine. So we cut to Mr. Popo on the lookout, and it's just as soon as it gets trashed by, I'm just going to call them the Goon Squad, Garlic Jr.'s weird henchmen. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, I think.
There is 4 of them, but not for one.
Yeah, there's it's not even worth remembering their names.
I don't even know their names, to be honest. Like, I'm pretty sure at least 1 or 2 of them do not have.
Yeah, 2 of them straight up never get name dropped. The other 2 are so not important. I don't remember. It was like pepper and salt. I don't. Yeah, it's not worth the memory. So Goon Squad's wrecking the lookout.
Dude, I love this scene because Mr. Popo in universe is talking to Garlic Jr.'s goons, and he literally for like 3 minutes retells the story of the Dead Zone movie.
Yeah.
And he's just standing there with these villains who want to kill him. And he's like, oh, you're this person. And this was back when Kami fought Garlic, and go on, blasted him. And like, it's insane.
So Garlic Jr. says that his plan is to become the guardian of the earth.
Which doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't at all. Why would an evil guy even want that job?
Yeah. I don't understand.
Do you get something when you choose to become the guardian?
That's what I wrote down. Like, are there powers?
Yeah. Are there,
like, is there something that comes with
Apparently not, because later on, Kami is learning all kinds of new shit that Mr. Popo just knows. So yeah, Kami doesn't even fucking know what's going on. He's just an elderly Namekian who they handed a staff, and they're like, hey, you can fly. Nobody else on this planet can. You're in charge. Anyway, I think Mr. Popo at this point hops on his magic carpet to fuck off, and they paralyze him with nets.
Yeah. So Mr. Popo yells, magic carpet. And it just like materializes. He jumps on it. He summons the mount, and then, he's electrocuted by their nets, by their red which paralyze him.
I was expecting it to just cut away when he was captured by the net, but then they interrogate him within the net, but he doesn't move ever. Garlic Jr.'s interrogating him in the net. Where is Kami right now? Mr. Popo says, I don't know. You're lying, says Garlic. Mr. Popo doesn't lie. Yeah,
he refers to himself in the third person for the first and maybe last time in the entire series for some reason.
Cuts back to Garlic, and he immediately goes, I believe you. And then it cuts back to Mr. Popo, and he goes, that's right. And then the conversation's over. He shrinks Popo down. I guess this is just a thing Garlic can do. He can shrink people.
I don't understand where this power comes from or why he doesn't use it later, but he does shrink Mr. Popo. Cuts to Kami's island. Everybody's gathered just to have a fun time together. Yeah, like just hanging out. There's Oolong and Puar and Roshi and Bulma and Yamcha, and then Marin and
Krillin show up.
Krillin are there. Yeah, they show up. And my one note for this scene is, well, I have 2 notes. One is I have no words for this Marin Bulma scene. And then my second note is, what a weird scene.
The way it goes down in as short amount of time as possible, because I don't want to spend the 8 minutes that the show does doing this. Marin comes in with Krillin. Bulma makes some offhanded comment, and Krillin then asks Marin to define the relationship, which then Marin says, oh, so we are free to date other people, and immediately starts hitting on Yamcha, which pisses off Bulma. Master Roshi looks at Marin's ass and her titties. That happens. Sorry, Aoku. Like, this is just going to have to happen. So
it's just Master Roshi does some weird stuff in this arc.
Master Roshi is full dirty old man mode in this arc.
Yeah, like he doesn't have any redeeming qualities.
No, there's not one time where he like steps off camera. He's like, I don't really think this. No, the whole time he's just staring at tits, or he's the king of a cruise ship. Like, it's the worst.
That was,
We'll
yeah,
get there.
that was,
Yeah,
oh my
so
God. Anyway.
my next note is, okay, the pacing of this episode is super awkward.
I have a pacing comment further down later in this arc, but
Right.
it cuts away from Kami's or Roshi's island, and then it does this actually super awesome shot of like zooming up Kami Tower from Kami's point of view. Like the camera just like in his first person perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Goes up the ladder and like he shows up.
Damn good shots. Damn good.
It's really cool
art in these episodes.
And it like, things are being destroyed and the goons are there and Mr. Popo's been captured. And then I don't understand what Garlic Jr. wants, but he talks about like dark plans and being the guardian of Earth and getting the throne for himself. Like, it's really weird. And Kami does nothing. And then Garlic Jr. captures Kami.
Well, he does something. They kind of fight. There's a little bit of Kami on Garlic action, just a little bit, which is really, it's just Garlic beating up an old man. Kami gets hit with the net, the magic red net. Oh, now he can't move.
Yeah. Well, you'll never see it after this scene. So
I wrote down, apparently this is the magic power they get that they're going to beat the gang with. Garlic Jr. gets this jar, which releases an evil magic mist across the entire planet.
It belonged to his father, and it's called the Blackwater Mist, and apparently it was stored in Kami's lookout.
He uncorks it, and it starts traveling around the entire globe.
Something else important to note is this is, I believe, the first time that we see Gohan's dragon.
Icarus. That's right, yeah.
Which is pretty important to this saga. But Gohan breaks out of his house, grabs Icarus, and he's going to fly off to the party at Roshi's Island.
Yeah.
So, and that's pretty much it. Episode 109. Japanese title is Black Mist of Terror. Everyone turns demonic. American title is just Black Fog of Terror.
My title is Chi-Chi is a Super Saiyan God. 10 years before that was a thing. It starts off with this pretty ominous, creepy opening shot with the mist descending down over like a town.
Yeah.
Cut to Kami's tower, which looks so good. Like, I can't, their background artistry is top notch. The Kami's tower is all fucked up because those goons ruined it. And it looks all broken, and with the dark mist spilling out, it's really ominous. It got some good vibes in this episode. Then we cut to Garlic Jr., who is praying to a shrine that has a Star of David or something on it. And then he keeps calling it Father. And so we can assume Garlic is a member of the tribe.
Just going to leave that one lie.
And then we cut to Gohan riding Icarus, which, did they ever show how they became friends?
No, if they did, I don't remember it at all.
So they're just friends now.
I think he just shows up.
Yeah.
Like, it's just Gohan has a dragon now,
Gohan
which is really weird.
Like a weird, chubby, almost cartoony Western dragon.
It looks like a fat Spyro.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. And it's kind of adorable. It looks like a Pokemon. It just looks like a Pokemon.
Yeah. It's cute for sure.
Yeah. Yup. So the mist is descending upon the valley where Gohan is flying on Icarus. Gohan gets bucked because the mist scares Icarus. The mist descends upon the forest. They land in the forest after the mist is come and gone, I guess.
Yeah, they get stuck in a cave.
Oh, yeah.
And Icarus gets corked in there so that Gohan doesn't get affected by the mist.
Right.
So he doesn't breathe it in. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of dissipates and then they're able to escape.
Yes. So they're hanging out in the forest. I guess they're trying to figure out what's going on.
And now all the squirrels are evil.
Gohan sees a squirrel. It's like, oh, it's a cute little squirrel. And Icarus is like, oh, no, don't touch that squirrel. You can see it in his dragon face. That's what he looks like.
Yeah, he doesn't talk.
Gohan goes to touch the squirrel, and the squirrel's got evil red eyes. Then all around Gohan, there's tons of, in the darkness, in the bushes, there's little red eyes piercing through. And then they do the laziest animation thing that I've ever seen. It's like the most obvious, we didn't have a budget today, so we're just going to show still images of what you could be watching.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
well,
it does like a little PowerPoint presentation.
It does. And then Gohan flies off.
Yeah.
They should have just cut to that part. Don't even do the PowerPoint. Just cut somewhere else. You do that so often already, show. Just why?
Eventually it goes back to Kami's Island. And it's actually really enjoyable to watch. Everybody's just sort of hanging out. The fog hasn't descended here yet.
Yeah.
Except for Marin is here, and she's just a really odd addition to the group. Like, her energy doesn't really fit.
No.
She doesn't seem to want to impress anybody. Like, she doesn't... I don't know why she's there.
I don't either. I don't get it. I don't understand her character. There's nothing to pick up off of. Like, even throughout the whole arc, I couldn't, if I had to describe Marin's character in one word, it would be vapid.
Yeah.
Or like empty.
Super stereotypical, like, I want to have a sugar daddy.
Yeah, that's all it is, a sugar baby. Very, very stereotypically sugar baby.
And for some reason, Krillin is able to get that, fulfill that need of hers.
Somehow?
Somehow.
How does Krillin have so much money?
Martial arts tournaments?
But he loses all of those.
He still places.
Does he?
I don't know. He doesn't lose first round.
Well,
like a normal human category,
yeah,
I think Krillin is near the top.
That's true. How long has it been since the gang returned to Earth and whatever?
Oh, that's unknown. Gohan's hair is longer, so I think it's been at least 6 months to a year.
Yeah, that's a safe bet. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So in that time, I guess Krillin won the lottery. He has a lot of money, is what I'm saying, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're on Kami Island. Krillin is spearfishing, and he's doing it so poorly that the fish start laughing at him, which then makes Marin say, wow, that was really embarrassing. You should feel embarrassed because that was embarrassing.
Ugh.
And then he does feel embarrassed. And then, as Krillin's feeling embarrassed, a jet lands on top of him, like a flying machine.
Yeah. And it's Chi-Chi in a jet. And she's looking for Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
And she finally gets to meet Marin, which is really fun because my note is, oh God, Marin's going to die. So Chi-Chi says, I'm looking for Gohan. Is Gohan here? And Marin says, your grandson isn't here right now. And it's like, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect. And Chi-Chi starts powering up somehow.
Yes.
Like she's going to kill Marin, basically.
Anybody else is just like a white aura, and hers is red. It makes her look like she's some unearthen power that has been awoken through the bowels of time to just lay down shit on Marin.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping for it.
I believe what happens is Krillin says, come on, Marin, let's go. They take a little swim underwater, and that's when the fog starts to roll in. So Krillin and Marin are fine, but Chi-Chi, Yamcha, Puar, Oolong, Master Roshi, all those are affected by the Blackwater fog, which turns them evil. Essentially, their pupils turn pink. They are like just ravenous, sort of growling zombies, sort of.
There's pretty much. It's halfway between a vampire and a zombie.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like not completely mindless.
They talk eventually, but not often.
They're just,
it's weird.
Like possessed by demons almost.
Yeah, it's really ill-defined. Anyway, Gohan shows up on Icarus after everybody's evil, and Chi-Chi hits Gohan, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Just max him. Chi-Chi and Gohan fight for a bit. Which, as cool as that was, Gohan doesn't fly through the entirety of it, and Chi-Chi can't fly, but Gohan can.
Well,
so he had a really easy get out of jail free card right there.
He did, but if there's something that is consistent about these 10 episodes of this little arc saga thing, it's that Gohan sucks. He just sucks.
Well, he's too scared to do anything, right?
That.
Like he's super powerful, but he can never find the motivation or the muster the courage to actually fire off a shot or whatever. And he is fighting his mother, so
yeah,
he gets a little anyway. So Krillin and Marin emerge from the water, and they're like, "Holy crap! Everybody's evil. I don't think this is really weird. Everybody's behaving irregularly." And so everybody starts fighting everybody. Gohan gets his, tries to avoid getting hit by his mom, and also tries to avoid killing his mom because he's perfectly capable of that. And there's some really fun moments as they're battling out of the roof of Kami House, and then Krillin disappears for a bit. It's actually really fun to watch because these are all characters we know, and there's a little bit of stakes. Like Gohan obviously can't kill his mom, and nobody wants to hurt Bulma or Yamcha or Master Roshi, and Master Roshi is the one who trained Krillin, so it's interesting to anyway.
Rocking a hard place fight.
Yeah, exactly. Gohan ends up on the beach, and Krillin just sort of explodes out of one of the windows of Kami's house, which is so good.
Oh, yeah.
And by Kami's house, I mean Kame House, which is what Master Roshi's house is called. Not to be confused with Kami's Tower, which is technically Kami's house.
Right, I'm following.
Yeah.
Eric wouldn't be.
And I don't remember how, but the goons show up.
Oh, yeah, they just kind of show up.
Yeah, like Garlic Jr.'s goons. And their only purpose in this scene is to tell them exactly how and where to fix everything.
Yeah, that's right.
They're like, the Blackwater Mist is here. There's no way you can get to Kami Tower, which is where the antidote is stored. You guys are just screwed. Which, if they hadn't told them, they would have been screwed.
Yeah, every predicament that the villains put our heroes into, they then also hand them the way out in like the same fucking moment.
In the same breath. And then Piccolo shows up at the end of the episode to certify that he's not all fogged up.
Yeah.
He's here and he's going to kick some A.
So we got the kids again. It's Krillin and Gohan and Piccolo.
But there's no Goku. Goku's not here. And Vegeta's not here.
That's right. Yep. So what are we going to do?
I don't know. Probably die. Episode 110. The Japanese title is The Heavenly Realm is the Battlefield. Piccolo becomes devilish again. The American title is Battle in Kami's Lookout. This shot opens basically exactly where we left off.
I got a title for this.
Sorry, you just didn't say anything.
I know. I was just incredulous because they don't fight on Kami's Lookout there.
Well, not in this episode, yeah.
Oh, fuck it. So my title is the one where the writers were like, oh, the Namek character formula was great. Let's bring back that dynamic. And then someone with a brain walked into the room and threw them out of the 12th story of their building. You don't have to laugh at that. Don't even give me a pity laugh. I'm just angry.
I just like that it was so many characters. Like, I don't even think you'd be able to type that on Twitter.
Probably not, no.
So this episode opens with a cool shot on, we're still on Roshi's island. There's a nice little bit of continuity, which usually doesn't happen between episodes. During the previous episode, during the fight, Yamcha like totally collapsed this awning.
Oh,
this like little porch that hangs over the front door of Roshi's house, and it's still destroyed, which is I don't know, it's fun. I like destruction that stays intact, you know.
One of the bad guy crew decides to plot dump for us.
Oh yeah.
I have a couple concerns. So let me just bring this up. I wrote down exactly what he says. So he says, not long ago, the autumnal equinox was on the first point of Libra. All right, I have to stop there. What?
This is an explanation of how Garlic Jr. escaped from the dead zone, which finally 3 episodes into this arc, somebody actually has the foresight to ask about, because it's been on my mind the entire time.
So the second sentence is, heralding this auspicious moment for the dark side was the Makio star. Okay, and again, I'm going to stop. Who are you making this show for? Who is this for? Is this for kids? Is this for teenagers? Is this for my grandmother?
That's actually a really good point. It's the most ridiculous, like, shoehorned explanation that makes absolutely no sense that I've ever heard on this show. Why didn't they just start the saga with one of his lackeys gathering the Dragon Balls and wishing for Garlic Jr. to be free from the dead zone?
Because that would have made sense. That's why.
It just would have been so simple.
It would have been super easy to do it that
Yeah.
way. Okay, so God, hang on. I was going to say something that was kind of prevalent here, and I just can't even, like, this. It's so fucking infuriating. So, that's right. I was thinking about this as he's explaining the whole backstory, and I'm like, okay, storytelling has evolved quite a bit since then. Now we still have bullshit excuses for why things happen, but you don't tell us why until the very end. So, like, I'm just thinking, do you remember in the 80s and 90s when plot dumps were the norm, just right in the beginning, instead of creating a mystery and slowly uncovering it throughout the arc?
Yeah. It's really bad.
That sucked. I'm glad that we don't do that now. Like,
I prefer the modern way.
I do too, where even if it sucks, at least there's that tension and you build a mystery and there's something there. J.J. Abrams gets it. I don't necessarily like some of the stories that he's written, but at least he knows how to generate mystery, and most other people do now too. But fuck. In the 90s, they're just like, here's why. And now we're going to do it.
I think that doing it all up front is a bad decision. As ridiculous as this explanation was, if it was dulled out in tiny little pieces, little morsels over the course of like 5 or 6 episodes, it would have been way more digestible.
Yes.
I would have been okay with it if they'd entered. But like, all this shit comes out of nowhere about astrology and planets and alignment. Like, what? Since this hasn't been a thing.
No, since when has that mattered? Ever? Any of those things? Any of them? So anyway, there's a star. It's called the Makio star. It's what gives Garlic Jr. his power. That's how he escaped the dark realm sin world.
Dead zone, which is apparently affected by, or like, real universe celestial bodies.
The only bit of real good information that we get out of this is that after 24 hours, the people that are possessed by the mist permanently become evil.
Correct.
Piccolo takes off his clothes.
Yeah, that was cool.
He throws his hat at one of the cronies, and the crony actually has to physically punch it out of the way because it's heavy.
Which is great.
It was good.
A couple interesting things in this scene. I'm sort of weirded out that the fog people aren't fighting themselves, because based on the explanation the show gives us, it's not like a mind control thing. It's like a unleashing your evil side sort of thing, like your darkest desires and primal instincts sort of thing.
Yeah.
But they don't fight each other. They just try to go after the people that aren't infected, which doesn't make sense.
You know what it reminds me of? Have you ever read the comic series Crossed?
Wait, the one by that one guy?
That's right. The guy that makes
who's really famous for doing really shitty, crass, super gross 13-year-old comic books.
To the point where it becomes like a disgusting parody of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Crossed, these people are infected with this virus or disease. They don't just go after people that aren't infected, but they will absolutely prioritize somebody that's not infected.
It's the same author that wrote The Boys comic series. The Amazon show like toned it down quite a bit, which is saying something, and made it a bit more digestible.
Palatable.
And the original comics are, there's something. Anyway, as we said before, the zombie people, the fog people have like pink eyes.
Yeah, they all have pink eyes.
There's this cool shot of like all the people that are possessed by the fog. And Master Roshi obviously always wears sunglasses, but you can see like little tiny beams of pink light coming out of his sunglasses, which I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple good Roshi sunglasses hiding things.
Yeah, there is. Icarus comes out of nowhere and grabs Marin and then take off.
Oh, thank you.
Thankfully,
you,
taking two pointless characters out of the story. Piccolo yells at Gohan to go to Kami's tower because that's where the cure is stored. Piccolo looks at everybody on Roshi's island and says, "I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to kill all of you," which I freaking loved.
Oh, yeah, that was super good.
And then Yamcha and Bulma attack Piccolo and bite his neck.
Yep. Which then it's revealed that'll transmit the evilness to him.
Yeah.
Like a vampire.
And they all just sort of like bite him like vampires as he watches Gohan leave.
Yeah, just right in the neck. Which, does it have to be the neck? Can you just bite him anywhere? Because you were all over him before.
Yeah. But we only see the neck.
Does it have to? Okay. Okay. So we do cut to, let me get to the Vegeta cut.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Talk about the Vegeta cut.
Yeah.
It's really short. And it's really dumb, but it's my favorite part of the episode.
It's the best part of the arc, honestly.
So we cut to just somewhere, just like an asteroid or something.
Space,
somewhere in space. And Vegeta has been mercilessly slaughtering a contingent of Frieza Force soldiers while he's looking for Goku. And it's such a grisly scene because there are hundreds of dead people on this planet. And Vegeta's just standing there being Vegeta, murdering them all. And he shouts into space, "I have to know how you did it, Kakarot. I need to be a Super Saiyan." And I'm like, yes, Dragon Ball Z has begun for me.
His obsession with Goku, like that goes to the beyond the realms of the galaxy.
It's going to get good.
It's going to get good.
It won't this time, because now we got to go back to fucking Marin, who catches up with the boys that are moving on towards Korin's tower. Which, oh, by the way, did we mention how they're going to reverse this evil mist? Because it was revealed in that plot dump that they need to go get the sacred water.
Yeah, that's the cure. It's called the sacred water.
When they arrive at the tower, Gohan tries to explain what's going on to Korin, and Korin says, "It's going to be easier if I just read your thoughts."
Oh my God, yeah, everybody in this show can read thoughts.
You know what? It's lazy storytelling, but at this point, if it skips us over another fucking 5-minute recap, just do it. I'm down. I'm excited for mind reading now. As long as it gets rid of the just like, oh yeah, back in the that you just
plot dump, yeah.
And then my next note is all caps. It says, "Yes, leave her."
Yeah, Krillin and Gohan bounce.
They just
nice. Yeah. That's mine.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So they leave Marin, and we can't. I don't think there's any way that we really can describe how obnoxiously annoying Marin is.
Well, it's weird. Like, why isn't it Bulma?
I don't know.
Being a better character. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like her.
It does.
Marin literally serves no purpose in the story.
Yes.
I would even like venture to border on blasphemy and say you could hook Krillin and Bulma up for an arc.
Yeah.
If this is about Krillin's love life, like,
sure,
you could totally hook him up for an arc and just have like an actual interesting character dynamic.
Yeah, especially if it's about his love life, because that's the one thing. Well, there are two things that Bulma knows a lot about: everything science, and then banging.
Yeah, exactly.
We could introduce those two elements together.
I think it would have been really fun to see that dynamic play out.
At the end, they're like, we're just better as friends, and it's like actually
he still learns the lesson, and
we're so good.
That's so much better. Shit.
Anyway,
God,
none of that happens, and Gohan and Krillin leave to go to the tower. Well, Piccolo is infected by the bites on his neck.
He turns evil.
Ugh.
Oh my God. Episode 111. The Japanese title is Direct Confrontation with Piccolo, an angry Masenko in the Heavenly Realm. The American title is Fight with Piccolo.
All right, here is my title. The one where they don't fight Piccolo.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I don't know why they titled it this. It's ridiculous.
Well, we come to expect that the titles are going to give you everything.
Yeah, but they don't.
Both the American
they lie.
and the English and the Japanese ones don't. So we start off, and I have to say, I think that they, just to add to the character development of Piccolo being like a snarling, rabies-infected demon again now, they might have given Christopher Sabo some shots, like in the tongue and the mouth, because there's so much like drooling and slobbery sounds. You can hear the foam in his mouth when he's doing it. It's kind of gross. So I suspect that they gave him a little, not narcolepsy, that's where you fall asleep, Novocaine. That's it. They shot some narcolepsy into his gums.
It's for the art.
Yeah. You probably get some good insurance working on Dragon Ball Z. So the gang is now whittled down to just Gohan and Krillin. They are on Kami's lookout. Garlic Jr. has confronted them. They're now face to face. They're having a little face off. Garlic asks Gohan where his dad is so he can kill him. And the way that Garlic asks the question, I have a very important question for you. Please answer it, will you? I know you can. I would appreciate it. Where's your dad so I can murder him? Like, why would you?
But it's delivered in the best way.
It had such a good takeoff, his question, and it just could not stick the landing. It's like they ran into a meteor halfway through in the air. So Gohan gets all pissed up.
And
he starts to blast Garlic. But Garlic holds out Kami, who is shrunken.
Garlic defends himself.
Yeah.
This is the introduction of the glass bottle.
Yes.
Kami's in a little glass jar, like a model ship.
Somebody says to Krillin, I've got a present for you.
I got a present for you. I got that. I have that quote.
That's it.
And then he just punches. Yeah. Krillin gets his ass kicked. And this whole fight with Krillin and Gohan and the Goon Squad is sort of pointless.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of reasons, but mainly in this instance, I'm talking about the fact that right before this, Garlic Jr. says, don't kill him because we need the information that they have to get to Goku.
So they're just going to rough him up a little bit, but they're stronger than the Goons are.
I mean, theoretically.
So anyway, Garlic sends out his two unnamed goons, I think, or one unnamed goon and another one.
If they have names, I never.
I don't know. So the music here is a little weird. I made a note that.
Hey, I've made that note too.
I don't know why they decided to go with dark circus music plus clarinet.
It was very odd.
It's a really rad song, but it really does not fit what's going on. So anyway, Gohan is fighting the weird nameless grunt man. I don't even remember what the fuck he looks like. Krillin does what is becoming the show's normal, which is jumps in front of a blast meant for Gohan.
We all hope that Gohan can finally get pissed enough to actually do something in this fight. And then it cuts to Vegeta again.
Oh!
His space quest for Goku. It does for a second. And he goes crazy, sort of. Like he's standing on a planet. The planet has a moon. And he's just killed everybody on that planet, basically. He senses like an energy signature on said moon. And he's somehow like instantaneously convinced that it's Goku.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't.
He just knows.
He just knows that it is. He's like, I'm going to find you, Goku. Except he has his Kakarot. And then he goes for the.
Yeah, that's right. He never says Goku. That one time he said Goku and it was weird and we made note of it.
It was very strange. Anyway, so that doesn't really amount to anything at all. But
it does look awesome when he's flying from one planet to another planet through a meteor shower.
It's great.
It's a great shot, but no, you're right. It doesn't amount to anything at all.
He's absolutely insane at this point if he thinks that he can just randomly come across Goku in
on
space.
A deserted ass planet. Yeah.
On a deserted planet. Yeah.
He's running out of oxygen is what's happening because he's just in space and he can't breathe. And so he's running on fumes. He's hallucinating and laughing about it. Whatever.
Then it cuts back to Kami Tower for this, the extension of this fight.
Yeah. Yep. So then after the ad break, we cut to our new favorite character, Marin.
Oh, yeah.
Who has been left in Korin Tower. She was in a swimsuit because
they were on the beach at Roche's house.
Yeah. So they cut back and Marin is now in a new top and she's exercising in front of a mirror. And for this scene, I had to turn on the subtitles because I'm like, there's There's no way that this is this stupid in Japanese, right? Like, this is just like a Funimation dub thing. In the Funimation dub, she's exercising in front of a mirror, and Korin remarks that he doesn't understand how kids can keep up this kind of energy level. In Japanese, she's still dancing around, but she actually says, oh, how fortunate that you had this set of clothes lying around. They feel so nice on me. And that's why she's doing it in front of a mirror.
Okay.
So then the next scene is her using her titties to convince them to make her food, and then they cook her food. That happens in both English and Japanese. She uses the power of her tits to convince the dumb men to do dumb men things. That crosses all language barriers, so that's the same thing. In the conversation they have when they're making food, in the fun dub, they're almost fighting about who's going to make the better food to win her heart. And then in Japanese, they're actually really concerned about how they can get her to pay Korin the respect he deserves as this guru and elder. And Yajirobe pledges to help however he can. And then at the end, she says, like, oh, somebody come here and massage my calves or something. And then the cat just leaves, jumps, hops to it. And Yajirobe says he's never going to get her to respect her that way. Like, it's real. There's actual moments there versus just, hey, I'm going to bounce in front of the mirror. I'm hungry now. Make me some food. I convince you with tits.
Wow. That sounds way better in Japanese.
I feel like a lot of things probably are, yet a lot of the funnier, more awesome things that we do enjoy are probably entirely gone. Krillin has intercepted a blast meant for Gohan, and that happened before the ad break, maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago. And now it's post-ad break, post-convincing Korin. He's still getting blasted. So this is like 8 minutes of getting electrocuted. And all Gohan has done has stood there staring mouth agape.
He does very little. Like he's paralyzed with fear a lot of the time.
Gohan
is the
desperately needs to see a clinical psychologist and be prescribed something to help him level himself out.
This episode is called Fight with Piccolo. Piccolo comes in at the very, very end of this show and punches Gohan and then starts to strangle him.
And then the episode ends.
So there's like a lot of fighting with the henchmen, very little with the Piccolo.
Yep.
And then we hit episode 112.
Yeah.
In Japanese, it's called Retrieve Everyone's Minds, the Ultra Holy Water Resting in the Temple. The American title is Call for Restoration.
Ultra Holy Water?
The Ultra Holy Water, yeah.
What's holier than Ultra Holy Water?
Super Ultra?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm so happy that was your guess.
Ultra Holy Water 2.
Ooh, Super Ultra Holy Water X5.
There you go.
My episode title is Strip Poker with a Cat God.
Oh my God. Everything with Marin in this arc sucks.
At the very least is so insufferable, it makes you appreciate that we're not doing it again after.
Yeah. This, I mean, we've said it before, but I'm pretty sure this might be the last filler arc.
Yeah.
There is some point, like there's an occasional filler episode, but at least like the best filler episodes aren't, there is an enemy that we have to fight, right? Because you know that there's no stakes and it doesn't matter. The best filler episodes where it just has fun with the characters.
Yeah.
The next filler episode that I can think of is one of the best episodes of the show.
We're talking about Goku Piccolo.
Yes, that episode. It's amazing.
I haven't seen
good.
It from beginning to end. I just know the stories.
It's just fun. There's very little fun about this arc. So this episode opens on Piccolo. There's some cool continuity with the bite marks on his neck from everybody on Master Roshi's island that bit him. Then Gohan and Piccolo fight some more.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Beginning of this episode is a lot of really boring, long, silent shots.
It's so boring.
Really not a whole lot else to talk about. So Krillin tries to go for Kami in the glass, thinking because Krillin's the only one with the brain anymore. Garlic Jr. has magic purple glass powers or something.
Why doesn't he just shrink everybody down and put him in a glass bottle? Huh? Why does he just shrink everybody down? He got Mr. Popo and Kami.
Yeah. So, okay. Anyway, my next note is I can't focus on these things anymore. I have to just keep going. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I promise. If I don't keep going, I will die. So my next note is, oh shit, that was rad. When Garlic was charging up an attack to kill Krillin, and Gohan gets super pissed and throws Piccolo into the way of the blast.
Oh, it was so cool.
Great moment. There are a lot of really great moments. I noted that
as well.
Like little tiny, there are a lot of kernels of popcorn.
Some cool maneuvers for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's a lot of pudding.
Oh, yeah. Krillin's getting tossed around. I don't necessarily like Krillin.
Sure.
I like his role as like the buddy of the hero and as like the all around good guy, but he's still kind of pathetic. And so
because he's facing off against godlike creatures as the only human in the group.
I get it. I do, but I still anyway. So I do agree that it's bullshit that he never gets a second wind. Every time he gets beat the fuck up and he's on the ground, like face down or face up, just a parallel, he's always smiling. Always.
Sure.
Every time he looks up, he's like, oh, yeah, I'll get up as soon as I can feel my legs again. Like, he's always smiling, at least. But it's pretty bullshit that whenever he's down and out and under pressure and everybody else gets these fucking magic boosts out of nowhere, he doesn't. He never gets one. It's not fair. It's not. I don't. Privilege. It's saying privilege. It's bullshit.
It is saying privilege. 100% it is. Or Namekian privilege or whatever, like non-human.
Yeah. Anti-human
privilege.
Sentiments are so heavy in the writing of this story.
In Dragon Ball Z, it absolutely is true. So Piccolo and Gohan and Krillin are just fighting, like for a lot of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And my one note that is even worth mentioning at this point, I honestly couldn't get over this weird feeling that Piccolo was just acting. Eventually, Krillin gets knocked down. Piccolo picks him up and bites him. And that's where it kind of hit home. I'm like, I think he fake bit Krillin.
Because you don't actually see a bite.
Because you don't actually see a bite. It's like he just kind of raises Krillin up.
Yeah, it's implied that that's what he's doing.
It's an implied bite. And Krillin doesn't scream when Piccolo apparently chomps down. Like, yeah. Anyway.
I had the thought, and then I removed it because I went, wait, this is Dragon Ball Z and his eyes are pink. Just like everybody else's.
His eyes are pink.
Eyes.
Piccolo's eyes are pink, just like everybody else's. So there's no way he could fake it. So yeah. But I did write it down.
Yes, yeah. We'll reveal that next time. But so then we cut to Korin Tower, and it's Marin, and it's Korin. Yeah. Everything's normal at first. They're just sitting around playing cards, and you see Marin, and you see Korin. And then you see a chubby being in a loincloth. And you don't know who it is because it's an under-the-table shot. You can't see their face. And Yajirobe has literally, in this poker game that they're playing, lost everything that he owns up to his loincloth. Yeah. They're playing strip poker.
It's strip
Korin
poker.
has bet a bell that gets you to heaven.
Yeah, a bell that can get you into heaven? What the
bell.
hell was that about?
I know it's a thing because it's an item in a game that I played. I don't remember the backstory, but it's a real ass thing. Like, it really gets you to a place. So he's just...
Whatever.
He just can't fucking handle the pressure of this hot lady.
It's weird because in this scene, it's nighttime, but then it cuts to the tower again and it's daytime. But my question is, why even bother doing the extra work to make it nighttime in one place and daytime in another when they just spent all of the Namek saga making it daytime for everybody forever because Toriyama didn't want to deal with it. Anyway.
So they're fighting.
Piccolo blasts Gohan into the depths of Kami Tower.
So they're fighting.
And basically there's been no dialogue between these characters. It's been a lot of grunts. Like just a lot of fighting. Piccolo multiforms, and I can't help but notice that means he's 1/3 as powerful because there's 3 Piccolos. And then Krillin starts beating him up too. So for sure they're all turned. They're all evil.
Oh, you mean Krillin starts fighting Gohan?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And he has pink eyes also.
That's how you know they're all evil. And Garlic Jr. like watches it and he's having a lot of fun. And I just can't help but like wonder, like, didn't you want Gohan to survive so that you could find out where Goku wasn't that the whole point of the thing? But now you just kind of want Gohan to die. I mean, that's fine. But
wasn't the whole point of coming here to get the sacred water?
Yeah.
How did everybody forget that was?
Because they're fighting each other, and also Krillin and Piccolo are evil.
You just stop fighting. Just leave. Just run. Just go get the sacred fucking water. Ask Kami. He's tiny, but he has a mouth. Where is the sacred water, Kami? And then Kami says, oh, it's in the closet. And then you get it and save everybody.
You know as well as I do that the answer is far more complicated than that. So we end this episode with, maybe you already guessed it, Piccolo and Krillin revealing that they haven't turned after all, and they're just fine. They are their normal selves. Piccolo did not bite Krillin, despite the fact that if he had bit him and he wasn't evil, the bite would have done nothing. And Piccolo was bitten, but was not turned because he's Namekian, I guess. And Piccolo heals his vampire bite scars on his neck. And
why did he have to do that? We get it. When you don't have the pink eyes, you don't have to. There's 30 seconds. He puts his hand on his neck and he makes the holes go away.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, you know what would have been really cool, like kind of wink wink reveal to the audience is that if they didn't have pink eyes the whole time they were fighting Gohan. Because then you would know, because then when Chi-Chi and Bulma and Yamcha were fighting them, they did have pink eyes. But then if Piccolo and Krillin didn't the whole time, you'd be like, wait a second.
So what?
But they do have pink eyes.
How do they have pink eyes then?
So how did they get pink eyes if they were just faking the whole time?
How did they do that?
How'd they do that, Toriyama?
I need somebody to mail me a letter explaining in detail why it is that this happened the way it did.
P.O. Box 699, Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois 60652.
Did you just pull that out?
Yeah, you can help take a bite out of crime.
Wow. That's the most impressive thing that I've heard this whole time we're talking about this episode.
This whole thing gave me a headache. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, and they're pulling twists and turns out of nowhere for no reason that haven't been.
There's no establishment of any of it.
Dude, anything. As soon as they need an explanation for anything, they just throw it in. Like, they don't establish anything.
And then they over-explain everything that doesn't need an explanation. The whole thing.
Yeah.
This is why filler sucks.
It's so bad. It's really, really bad. And I don't know who wrote it. And I'm pretty sure Toriyama wasn't involved at all.
All of it. Everything. The new character, Marin. Horse shit. Get her out.
So bad. Why is she there?
Is she supposed to be comic relief? Because, like, you can do that with characters that we give a shit about. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Like, do something interesting with characters we know.
Oh my God. And then the fighting. Look, I love fighting in Dragon Ball Z, but it all amounts to nothing. So just don't even.
Like, for so many reasons, because we know it doesn't matter, for one. And for two, Garlic Jr. says at the outset, I don't want to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell? You're trying to trick your audience without actually having it make sense in the universe itself. It's just so frustrating.
And then we just cut to Vegeta in the middle of nowhere, he's doing nothing, just killing mans, doing nothing. And then
it's honestly the most interesting part of the whole saga, though.
It is. It is. It's my favorite part.
John's broken.
I keep bouncing back and forth between this happy place in my brain where we can talk about Dragon Ball Z and have fun, and then the
other place.
This place where I can't.
The darkness.
My mind is actually blank. There's just a void. I'm talking to you, Spencer. I don't give a shit if this goes in the podcast. Like, my fucking head. Like, it's nothing. There's nothing happening in here. I'm sorry. This episode, this set, and the next ones, I don't know. Can you hire a stand-in John for the next one? Like, maybe. Hop on Fiverr. I need a John.
Need you to watch episodes 113 to 117.
And then just get really mad about silly things that happen, occasionally make stupid metaphor, have really bad improv skills, and that $5.
That seems worth
easiest
it.
money you'll ever make. And I'll just be in an ice bath.
We only have one more episode of the Garlic Jr. Saga, and then we get back into the canon stuff, and I'm really looking forward to that because some of my favorite characters come into the show at that point. But first we have to get through the next 5 episodes, and we will do that next time on Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z.
Say it faster. Let's go. Oh God. Thank you for listening to Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z. He may hate the show, but he loves you for watching it, listening to it. If you like what we do, find more of our stuff on the internet.
We have another podcast called Tales of Nowhere. It's pretty good. RPG, real play, actual play podcast. Super fun. Just entered its 2nd season. You can find that wherever you get this podcast. If you want to talk to us about feedback or whatever, express your disinterest or actual interest, you can contact us at mail, at ehdbz.com. You can also find us on Twitter using the handle.
Twitter. Just go. I'm just reciting. It's keeping me grounded. I'm just reciting the memories that I remember.
At Eric Hates DBZ.
Yeah. Music, John Burn 7, SoundCloud. Pun.
Isn't he great, folks, at the music thing that he does?
Pun. Marin. Dead Zone.
Yeah, this saga's been a lot to process. We're gonna have to marinate on it for a little bit. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye.